and welcome to the Fat Squirrel Speaks. Today is Wednesday, January 8th, and this is episode 93, I think. Hi, how are you? I'm totally late recording. If you're new to the podcast, hi, how are you? Normally I would try to record on Tuesday and give it up and so you have it on Wednesday. However, this week has been a little wonky. Unpredicted today, so... Sorry. I held my hand up, there was like a shadow on it, and I was like, oh my gosh, what's on my hand? Just my hand. Just light and shadow and lack thereof. Oh, so I'm explaining why I am so failed about being on time. So, normally, my family would have all been gone this week. It is now Wednesday, as I just mentioned, and school started back on Monday. My husband was supposed to go into Ohio to work on Monday, and except we had a giant snowstorm. Well, actually, we didn't have a giant snowstorm, but we had a snowstorm on Thursday, and then we had a few days to recover, and then we had another snowstorm on Sunday, and then it was crazy cold, as most of you know. If you don't know, you're fine. I live in Indianapolis, Indiana, and we had highs of -15. Woo! They may have changed it to -12. Bulby! So we had those highs on Monday, so I pretty much knew that we were not going to have school on Monday. And my husband and I decided, like, if they have school, we are not sending that child because that's scary cold. And also, come on, when is it that cold? It's never that cold here. That's Fahrenheit, by the way, not Celsius. When is it ever that cold a year? Psst, that's a celebration day. So, but they did call off school. So we didn't have school on Monday, and we didn't have school on Tuesday, and then we didn't have school on Wednesday either. And actually, I don't know if we're going to have school tomorrow. We may get a phone call while we're talking that there's no school tomorrow. Because the roads are really cruddy still. Super cruddy. We had about, what did they say? We had about 6.5 inches of snow on Thursday, which was awesome because it was a nice warm day. I mean, it was like in the lower 30s, upper 20s. Right? That's perfect. So it snowed all day Thursday. We went sledding on Friday. Shenanigans! Sorry. We went sledding on Friday. And by we went sledding, I mean my husband and my daughter slid down the hill. I walked with them there. They didn't make me. I just wanted to. Because I was like, no, I need to get out. Because I decided they were going to walk. Clearly I should go with them, right? What was I thinking? It's only like 1/4 mile to where we go sled riding. And by the way, I use sledding and sled riding interchangeably. That means we sit on something and go down a hill on it. With runners, without runners, doesn't matter. It's not necessarily a toboggan. Could it be a toboggan though? Just saying. So, it's only like 1/4 mile. And we live in the city. So we have to cross one major street and 2 minor streets. But the bad thing about crossing the major street, and by major I mean it's still a secondary road, but it's 4 lanes of traffic with a division in the middle. Not like a big median, but you know, a median. So they have plowed that road. Because yay them, they plowed the road. However, it means for about half of the 1/4 mile walk, instead of walking in like 6 inches of snow, we're walking in like 12 to 14 inches of snow. Which my husband and daughter had no trouble with at all. However, what the heck? I'm so out of shape. I had no idea. I mean, I knew I'd been kind of resting on my laurels this winter thus far, but wake up call. My husband kept looking back at me being like, honey, you're an alarming shade of red. I'm like, well, A, my skin is semi-translucent. Come on. Hi, do you see how white I am? Right? I glow in the dark. I was like, so really any blood that comes anywhere near the surface of my skin is going to make it immediately turn fluorescent red. Like wind chap, you know, it's red. But also I was like, Oh, it's so embarrassing. I'm sharing it with you because that's what I like to do. So, you know, right before, or maybe it was right after I saw the white light in the tunnel. No, not really. I was not close to death or anything. It was a quarter of a mile. No matter how crazy it was, I could have stopped and been like, no, really, come back and get me tomorrow. But in that time, I was like, oh, I need to, maybe I need to stand while sewing. Maybe I need to like cardio knit. I don't know. Because I'm a super fat fatty, but I always take pride in that my super fat fatty self can do most things that at least my group of friends can do. My group of friends are not runners, you know. So I can keep up with the people I associate with. I'm not saying that I specifically chose a set of friends because they were physically capable of similar things that I am. But, you know, I'm the biggest one of us, but I can keep up. I'm always very, like, prideful about that. This is a moment in which I could not be prideful. They weren't with us. I know they wouldn't have been able to do it either. But my husband and child totally could do it. Oh, it's so embarrassing. The wah-wah shenanigans of sadness. But we still had lots of fun. But the reason I didn't go sledding down the hill is because, you know, sled riding's fun, but it's not as fun for me at my age because it's just not. I'm in like 27 layers and I already have 38 natural ones. So that's like, what are we up to, 65 layers now? So then I had to like get down on the ground onto a sled and then go down a hill. It's like, whee! I can drive a car really fast. Sled riding is no longer that exciting. I know, right? I'm such a Debbie Downer. Meek. But so I didn't actually go up the hill once we got there because I was like, no, I have to reserve my energy to get back home. Oh, darn it. But it was still fun. And they had a lovely time, except it was very funny because that snow that we got was a very powdery, fine snow. And so every time they would get on the sleds, they would get like a big wave of snow that would come up over them. So it was hilarious to try to watch them get on the sleds and then like cover every like bit of themselves except their eyeballs and then also go down the sled like this. Because they were, no matter how much knitwear they had on, ooh, now my hair is really gorgeous. No matter how much knitwear they had on, the snow still found some way. There was nanite technology in that snow as it got in. So it was very funny. So that was lots of fun. And my daughter had lots of fun. Yay, that's important. So that was the snowstorm that we had on, well, I guess it was, again, yeah, there was a snowstorm we had on Thursday, and then we went sled riding on Friday. Then we were projected to get more snow on Sunday, which we did. And we probably got about another 6 inches-ish, I'm guessing. I didn't really try to measure it. But then we got the crazy cold temperatures. Again, I know you've heard all about it. But the combination of the extra snow and the crazy cold temperatures, I think just means that the roads are just jacked. Like, we live on again, the major-ish road I told you about, and it still looks very messy. I have not gone on it because I don't have to, okay? Live simply so that you don't have to drive in the snow. That's all I'm saying. That's my bumper sticker. So I haven't actually been out there, but I've watched people as I shoveled my steps. I watched them out there. Doesn't look fun at all. Not at all. So we'll see. I don't know if we'll have school tomorrow or not. I know people are going to freak out if we don't have school. Because people are going to be like, ah, this would have been 20 years ago. Yeah, the roads are all, like, the secondary roads are not nice for bus drivers and children to have to walk on. And we probably will have school, but I don't know. I don't know. By the way, my husband and I were totally talking about how sad it is to be a child in this age. Because everything's magic. But one of the things that's magic now that was not magic when we were a kid is that you had to, like, get up in the morning and turn on the television or turn on the radio. And then you had to wait for them. It wasn't even until like I got into high school, I don't think, that they started to have the ticker thing across the bottom that showed the closings. So I don't remember that when I was younger. Or maybe we just didn't have a TV. Because we did have a TV for a long time that was like this big. Like the little 8-inch black and white portable TVs. You know, you could do that back then it was okay. Now people were like, oh my gosh, you're an alien. Maybe that's why I don't remember the ticker tape. But whatever. Neither here nor there. You had to like get up and look at a television or listen to a radio. And you had to wait. Because they didn't always show it during commercials. You had to wait, and then you would like alphabetizing. You were like glued to the screen. You know, your mom was like, do you have any cereal? And you were like, I can't leave the screen right now. So what happened is if you ended up having school, which was 95% of the time, you wasted like your whole getting ready window in the morning trying to like pray that your school would show up on the little thingy. And then it would be like, you have 5 minutes to get ready for school. You'd be like, oh. Now school totally calls us, which is much more efficient, but kind of anticlimactic. If I were a mean mother, I should totally be mean. I could like turn off the, ooh, that would be so sneaky, wouldn't it? I could like just know and not tell anybody that there might not be school the next day. I should do that. Ooh, that's good. Let's keep magic alive. Ding. And secretly laugh and rub our hands together. Wahahaha. Maybe I'll totally do that next time. Okay, so that's that. So, but that was a long story to tell you that, like, sorry this recording is late and probably will involve me looking off camera a lot as a child runs. Because she's still here. But let's talk about knitting and spinning. I think those were all the shenanigans. I feel like I need water. Dehydrated from shoveling snow. I think those were all the shenanigans. We've had lots of fun. It's been kind of crazy sometimes. Okay, get out of my house. I'm an introvert. Even my family, I need you to go away for a little while. Okay. We've had lots of fun. We've played a babillion games, perhaps 7 babillion. We've had lots of snowball fights. We've sled. We sledded. We sledding did. We sled rided. All those things. I think that's all. Okay, so let's talk about knitting and spinning. Shush. No joke. Okay, first thing. Spinning finished objects. So last week I showed you my Friends in Fiber. My 2 different boblins. My 2 different bobbins. One was called, the colorway called Number 1. And one was the colorway called Blue Moon. And they were Falkland. I had 4 ounces of each, and I spun those up, and this is what I got. So last week, if you were watching, you may remember that I was holding the bobbins, being like, what am I doing? Is this the right thing? Oh my gosh, I was holding the right thing. Look at how beautiful that is. I only got something like 300 and something, I think like 330 yards, something like that. So it's definitely chunky, errand to bulky. But it's super squishy. And I dig it. I said that a lot last week. Oh, that's my new thing, evidently. I'm trying not to use awesome as much this year. So there it is. Yay! It's very springy. And very soft. Wonderful for next to the skin. As soft as I could ever hope things to be that are natural from the world. It's a face hammock. Okay. Does face hammock have to be the title of the show? I think perhaps it does. So I'm going to try to casually write that down and in fact not be at all casual about it. But face hammock, I think. Maybe that's what my double chins are. Just nice face hammock. Anyway, so that's that. I like it. How did I spin this yarn? Mostly I short backward draw-ish. I'm super inconsistent. I felt it how I wanted, I spun it how I wanted to when I was doing it. Sometimes that was not always the same way. Okay. Okay. So there's that. So the singles were finished. These singles were almost finished. This is my sock kit from Unwind Yarn Company. And here's some crinkle for you. Spin Your Own Socks Kit, 80% Superwash BFL, 20% Nylon. It's approximately 6 ounces. And the colors are Wheaton for the main color and brown for the contrast color. I feel like she does her updates Tuesdays at 4. I could be wrong. So this is about almost 400 yards. And I like how it turned out. I was very concerned as I was spinning it because some of the green was a very light green, which, I mean, I knew from the picture. It wasn't like a surprise. But I was just kind of like, oh, are these going to be like lime green? Like, not lime green, but like soft lime, pastel lime green. Is that a thing? I'm totally making that up. Are these going to be like really weird? But I think it all came together in the end quite nicely. I used the contrast color for one of the plies throughout. Let me see if I can get the, if I put it close enough, it'll make it happy. Maybe. Yeah. And then the other part, I split in half vertically. So I had two very long strips. I spun one of those strips. And then that strip, it seemed like there was like a very big, I'm sorry, I have a hair in my mouth. There were a couple of very big light green blocks. So the second strip I spun, I split in half again. Does that make sense? Sorry about that. I think so. Okay, so there's that. Pretty. And so that is not a true fingering weight. It's definitely like a sport weight. So that I can do a 3/5 fingering weight. I know. Just so scary. It looks like hair. I guess that's what you have to do. It just doesn't look like it could hold up to my feet. Which obviously it does, because that's what commercial yarn is like. But it just scares me when I'm spinning it. I'm like, no, this could not be. Even with 3 of these, it could not be sturdy enough for socks. There's no way. So I ended up making it thicker. I always end up making it thicker than I'm supposed to. Whatever. Still yarn. Still gonna be socks. Maybe. Probably. Okay. So spinning works in progress. Right here. I didn't bring the bobbin over for you because I just started it, quite frankly. I actually did start it on Sunday when we're getting all of our crazy snow, because look at this. Ooh. Some people like to spin this bright, beautiful stuff on the snowy days. I'm like, no. Let's live in the snowy day. Live in it! So this is Rambouillet, right? Yes, this is Rambouillet from Cloudlover. And she is just cloudlover.com. And this is her Lord Grantham colorway. But I'm pretending it's one of the Starks. Because that's okay, I'm allowed to do that. I love Downton Abbey, but just saying. I'm pretending it's the winter is coming. So, there's that. It's in my bag from the knotted bag, my spinning bag. So there's that. That's all the spinning that's going on. At the end of the episode, I will have both shameless self-promotion and shameless buying of stuff. So I'll be self-promoting myself and somebody else. Okay. So there's that. Okay. Knitting. Finish objects. This is me going, no, did I forget again? I forgot to show you last week that I had finished this project. I knit the Quiver mitts from Bronwwn of Knitting Pipeline fame and now designing fame. So these are my Quiver mitts. They are knit with Beaverslide dry goods in one of their kettle dyes, which was generously donated to me, gifted to me by a viewer. Yay. So I decided she has 3 different options. You can do mittens, you can do convertible mittens, or you can do just the fingerless mitts. I did the convertible mitten for the top, but I did not want to do it for the thumb. She has a pattern with just the truncated thumb, the full thumb, or like a flippy thumb. And I was like, whoa, that's a lot of flippy. So I decided not to do the flippy thumb. Now that I have completed them, I think I might actually, because usually I'm not a huge fan of the fingerless mitts. I love to make them because they're super easy, but they tend not to stay on my hands as well. I feel like they slide around, but maybe it's because of the slight ribbiness of this texture pattern. These seem to stay on really well, so I'm halfway tempted to take the tops off and just make them mitts. I don't know, I can't decide. Maybe I'll just make another pair. Maybe that's what I should do. But here they are, and they're very lovely and wonderful and good. Yay, them! Yay, Bronwyn. Okay. Knitting Pipeline Retreat, are you going? Eek. Okay. Second finished object. This is from my handspun I showed you, maybe 2 weeks ago? I can't remember. Maybe last week. I don't know what's happening anymore. So this is handspun that I made. It is 2 plies. It is 2, is that even the right side? Yes, it is. Complete with a popcorn kernel. I'm not lying to you people, okay? This is my handspun. There's 2 strands, 2 plies of cormo plied with a 3rd ply of Fiberista Files Polwarth in the Sandchart colorway. And this is the Aphelion cowl. And I can't remember who that is by. I've knit more than one, I should remember. Ooh, now look how glowy I am now. Ooh, glowy. It is the Aphelion cowl by Charlisa. I think it just says Charlisa Designs. Yeah, Charlisa Designs. It's a free pattern. Oh, that's, you can't see that, sorry. So it is written for DK. This was definitely not DK. This was like Fisherman to bulky. And I looked at several different patterns trying to figure out which one I was going to use. Originally, I was going to knit the, oops, that was the wrong thing. Originally, I was going to knit the Northern Loop, which looks, okay, we'll try this, see if you can see it. You see that? Ooh, okay. There you go, the Northern Loop. I was gonna knit that. That's written for bulky weight, but I don't know. I didn't. What I actually did was originally, I looked at it and I thought, originally that's what I was like, that's what I'm making. And then I looked at it too much and then I thought, oh, that's too bulky and maybe I'm too old to wear that. I know that sounds strange because that's not true, but maybe I, regardless of my age, maybe I am too old to wear that. Like maybe that's for younger people than me in their hearts. Not necessarily their bodies, I don't care. So I got all like, And so then I thought, oh, I'll make a Gills Rock, which is like one of Paula's designs that is essentially, it's a shawl, but it's a very shallow, very long shawl. And it's very simple. I thought, ooh, that'll be lovely. So I cast that on. And I didn't like the way the yarn looked in stockinette because the starting point of the shawl is stockinette. So I didn't care for that. Not the shawl, just the stockinette in this yarn. So then I cast on for the Northern Loop. And I think I was just using needles that were too big because it looked all like, ooh, I don't like that. So finally I decided to go with this because at the time I was wearing, I have one out of Handspun and I really like it. It's very warm and lovely. And I was like, that's just kind of like a generic thing. It has some texture. It's a very easy pattern. It's relatively, it's not like you can just knit to the end until you run out of yarn because you could, it just may not be symmetrical. Because originally the pattern does have 3 repeats and I only had enough yarn to finish 2. I had some extra yarn but would not have been enough to make 3. So that's why I decided on that. Is it too much work? I thought maybe I think it would be good to say like how I decide on a pattern. I don't know, maybe? Is that important? I don't know. But I totally like it and it keeps your neck warm. I was reading a board at one point and somebody was saying that they only like to knit practical pattern or practical things. And among the impractical things that they do not enjoy knitting, they wrote cowls. And I was like, cowls are super practical. Your neck gets cold. Whose neck doesn't get cold? I love cowls. For me, shawls are slightly impractical because they're beautiful and fun to knit, but then I don't wear them very often. Right? But somebody else, sweaters might be impractical because they don't ever wear them. You know what I mean? It just depends on who you are. Not that I was offended by this person's comment. I just was like, let me preach to you the gospel of the cowl because it is a very important one. It keeps your neck warm. I'm crazy. Second finished object. This is the Miranda sweater by... You would think I would know this. I've knit 2 of them. Lord have mercy on my soul. I've knit 2 of them. I've said this woman's name 75 times. I best pronounced it 74. But it's the Miranda sweater And it is by Josee Paquin. Paquin. What else? Paquin. It's in the show notes. And this is it with Cascade 220 Superwash in a navy blue colorway. This was almost 3 skeins for my daughter, and it's about a 33-inch circumference. Somehow I can't say bust because it's my child, even though I know that's nothing to do with boobs. I said boobs. And so it has I did the version with short sleeves and a pocket, but no hood because she's not allowed to wear hoods at school. I think it's super cute. What do you think? It's totally cute, right? Looks very cute on her. I'm going to make another one for myself. I am loving the short sleeve sweater. Cannot deny. It's so fun to wear because you never have to worry. As a big lady, I'm super extra prone to major pilling in the armpit area. You totally don't have to worry about that. Still get a little busty pilling, little bum pilling, but much less this pilling. I like it. Also, you don't knit sleeves. Sleeves can go so wrong. As evidenced by my, I have a sweater in hibernation that needs to be fixed. I need to do that. I should have done it over break. I'm a loser. Not in a bad way. I'm not. It's okay. I don't hate myself. Okay, works in progress. Okay. I have no idea how long this is because I messed up the beginning anyway. So here is my Foolproof shawl. And I forgot to mention in the last 700 times that this was a pattern that was generously donated to me by Sheep Walking. With Lindsay, thank you. I'm enjoying it so much. I've now knit. This is the second one I've knitted. I'm working on it, but you know what I mean. This is all like hard to show you. Theoretically, you would put these like on a waist yarn or a holder, and then you would just like be knitting a long rectangle. But I kind of like to knit like this because all together, that kind of makes me happy. This is. I'm showing you the wrong side because I like to do things like that. So here it is. I have more than last time. In fact, my stitch marker is right in the middle there, so, or my marker of where I was. So I have done this much. I've done this much this week. It's very fun to knit on. I feel like I could just sit down and knit on this until it's finished, but I'm enjoying it so much that I'm kind of parceling it out. Parceling it out or parsing it out? Both of those would work, I think. I put the joy in a parcel and put the parcels in a row, or I parse. Either way, it works, I think. Somebody's gonna be like, you simple child, that does not work. That's my bag. About to win spring, because she's so fancy. Okay, there's that of Knitsman Farm. Second work in progress that you have never seen. Really? What is going on? This, what? Sorry, it's all the little, Okay, so I am knitting the Measure in Love hat by the lovely Megan Williams, Stockinette Zombies. And so all proceeds of that pattern go to NWHN in remembrance of her sister. And I am knitting mine. It is written for DK or worsted or fingering held double. I am knitting mine with Hazel Knits in the Artisan Sock, which is an 80-20, 80% superwash merino, 20% nylon. Or, no, I'm sorry, it's a 90-10. I'm a liar. And it is approximately 400 yards, and I'm holding it doubled. It's a little bit bigger to me. It feels a little floofier than a regular worsted weight. So I'm knitting, and I was kind of between the 2 largest sizes. So I knit the second largest size, but mine's a little, my gauge is slightly, not really that much, but slightly off. What I'm trying to say is that I might run out of yarn, but it's not the pattern's fault. So here it is so far. There's a lot of me talking today. I love it. I love it! Did I tell you this is the Aquarius colorway? I don't know if I told you that. Here's the pattern. Garter stitch, my favorite thing in the world. Well, not really, but child and husband and family and stuff, but you know, in the knitting world, it's so squishy. Especially in this Yarn Hill double. It is mega low squishy. I love it. Isn't it beautiful? Did a lovely job on the pattern. It's a garter stitch in the round, so there's a lot of purling, and I can't purl. I have a medical condition. Not really. So, but the lovely thing is, because there's this beautiful slip stitch ridge, if you are going to do wraps and turns to work inside out so that you can knit instead of purl, it's very, it looks a little bit, this is the place I'm wrapping and turning, right here, where the bear's hanging. So you can tell a little bit that it's wonky, but not, I don't think you would ever notice it unless I pointed it out. So yay that. I am doing my patterning on the back side. You can do that. Don't worry, you can do it. It's not that bad. Okay. So there's that. I'm enjoying that very much. Again, I could have just sat down and finished that up, but it was so enjoyable. I wanted to make it last longer. The next thing I am working on that you have not seen before is the, oh, I keep doing the wrong thing on this thing. It's the Carpino. I think that's how you say that. The Carpino sweater. And that is by Carol Feller. It's one of the Brooklyn Tweed. Really? There we go. It's one of the Brooklyn Tweed patterns. Thank goodness Brooklyn Tweed 14 came out, winter 2014. I'm not as in love with it as I normally am. Usually I'm like, I must knit everything. This time I was like, okay, that's nice. Whew. Sometimes you gotta be relieved when the people don't do awesome things. For me, not that they're not awesome, but you know, that strike special, oh my God. That strike a special chord with me. Sometimes you gotta be a little bit relieved, like, whew, dodge that bullet. So this is written for Brooklyn Tweed Shelter, which is fingering, no, Loft, I'm sorry. Loft is the fingering weight one. I am knitting mine with Bartlett yarns, and it's a sport weight in the bronze colorway. So you get 1,700 yards, so 1,750, and it was it $37.95? It was less than $40. And this, I think this sweater in my size calls for 1,700, but that's of fingering weight. So who knows? Whatever. I'm gonna probably make a short sleeve, so it doesn't really matter anyway. But this would be enough for almost anybody to make this sweater with, because it has this lovely little lace detailing at the front, which stretches your yarn. Right. So don't you think that would be kind of cute short sleeved? I think I'm gonna do it. I don't know. I love the short sleeve sweater. So I have this much done. I have about a little, maybe slightly over half of the yoke done. Yeah, probably over half the yoke done. So now it's really starting to slow down. But it's still kind of nice because, again, I'm knitting mine with sport, so I'm getting 5 stitches to the inch instead of 23 stitches to the 4 inches. So I'm making slightly smaller size than I would normally wear. And I am doing the Amy Herzog Franken sweatering it. So I'm making the back 2 sizes smaller than the front to allow for my busty bust. And I'll probably put butt darts in it. We'll see. The whole front of the thing is patterned. So the whole front panel is patterned. So I cannot do Amy Herzog bust darts like in the nipple line, for lack of a better word. Or a couple of words. So I'll probably just do the shaping on the sides and hopefully that'll work out well. We'll see. And because of that, I'm having to do little extra increases in the front. Yada, yada, yada. Is that helpful? I don't know. Is that kind of, you're like, whatever, that's specifically you think. But the reason I'm telling you that is because you can make it work for you. No matter what your body shape is. Make it work. So I think that's all I have to tell you. It's very, I'm knitting this on US 2.75 millimeters, US 2s. US 2s, 2.75 millimeters. Okay, okay. That's all I need to tell you. I think that's all. Okay. Oh, well, I think the thing that makes it go fast is because that front panel is different. You only have to knit one big panel that's not interesting. So it just makes it, I don't know, for some reason to me that makes it go faster. So I'm still enjoying it quite a lot. I could quite happily work on that a lot more. But I have things to do. So here I bought some stuff. You want to see it? Of course you do. Three Waters Farm has started to carry Falkland, one of my favorite bases. And look at this colorway. Oh, you can be jealous. I totally don't blame you. Okay. So this is definitely not my normal colorway, but I love it. It's called Summer Morning. Is that right? Summer Morning. And I thought this would be great for about February-ish when I went to gouge out my eyes with the cold. So I'm saving that. Yay, that. Because now it's still fun to celebrate the cold, so I can knit on my blue and icy white thing. But come February, not so much. Yay, that. Okay, then shameless self-promotion. If you're not interested, I'll see you later. No worries. If you are interested, I have a slight change of plans. Originally, I was going to do the Charlie Harper update on January 10th. That's a Friday at 9 p.m. However, due to insanity, I'm not done, or I'm not as close to being done as I would like to be with those bags. So I'm going to push that update until the 17th. So that's 1 week later. Also 9 p.m. Eastern. Those will all be sewn and ready to go out. However, I will do a pre-order this Friday. I was originally planning on doing the pre-order next week, but I'll just flip-flop. I'm going to do a pre-order on January 10th, Friday at 9 p.m. And it will be a limited pre-order. I'm not going to just completely open it up because I'm one person. I cannot sew. Well, I mean, I don't think... Whatever. I can't sew up a billion bags. Not that I'm going to get a billion bag orders. But you know what I mean. Like, I have to constrain the number to realistically get them out to you. So there will be a pre-order that will open up, and it will be limited, but not severely limited. A lot to say. Here's the bags. They'll be Doctor Who-y. Okay. So it's all the companions. They'll be available in large wedge, which is this one. They will have the natural lining. This is the custom print fabric from Spoonflower, but it's the canvas. It is not the cotton, the quilter's cotton. So these are canvas, and they're lined with the normal canvasy-ish lining that I use. Here's the sweater size. Doing a slightly different sweater size, making the gusset a little bit narrower than it used to be. Hopefully it'll hold more for you that way. And then I'm also doing the small wedge. Now, but here's the warning about the small wedge. Look at that. That's your warning. You're not going to get all your lovely ladies on there. And I can't guarantee that you're going to get their whole selves perfectly lined up. I'm sorry, I can't guarantee it. So if you really love the small wedge and you really just have to have that size, that's fine. But I cannot guarantee, this print is so large, I cannot guarantee it. I'm sorry, I can't. So there's her. Okay. So those will be available. Now, okay, so here are the bad things I have to tell you. I've never used Spoonflower for like production bags. I've used a few of their things for myself in the cotton. Here's the bad thing about, and it may just be about the canvases. If they get severely creased, see that? You might get a little dot where the dye comes off. It doesn't the dye comes off. It says the surface fibers that have the dye in them can come off. So be aware. That's the only one of the three. Actually, I've made 4 because I gave one to a friend. That's the only one that did that, but I want you to be very aware that that could happen. and I can't control it. Its fabric is kind of ridiculously expensive. Which is one of the reasons I'm doing a pre-order. The fabric is a little bit more than I usually spend. I'm offering them to you at the same price that I make all my other bags at. But one of the ways I can do that is by doing the pre-order so that I get the exact right amount of fabric. And also with it being a Doctor Who, I've never done like a character-y like thing. What do you call that? Pop culture bag. So I don't really know how for sure it's going to go. So I just wanted to offer it to you, but also cover my own rather ample behind. So that's how I'm going to do it. There will be up to a 6-week wait for your bags because the pre-order will be open for a week or until they all sell out. And then, you know, it can be up to 2 weeks for the custom fabrics and then to sew. There's a lot of me talking, right? So, Doctor Who bags available Friday, January 10th. Tell your friends. And I think, though, that that'll be all. Oh, I should have talked about this at the beginning, but I'll just talk about it right now. In case you're still here, you'll get the info ahead of time. Don't you feel fancy? You should feel fancy. Upcoming cowls. I probably will do our gratitude cowl in February, March. Does that sound good? I was thinking that might be a good time to reflect on gratitudinousness. So that'll probably be February, March. If you've never done the gratitude cowl with us, it's just a mindful knitting exercise. It will be something that you will want to make for yourself because part of the mindful knitting is to then be reminded of all the things you're thankful for as you wear the product of your mindful knitting. But other than that, there will be no constraints. It has to be wearable and it has to be for you. I won't open the threads yet because it's already a 2-month cowl and I don't want to dilute the conversation. Okay. I think that's all. I'll talk to you later.